It's Felicity from Get Your Rock Out here with the lovely Barry from Shinedown. How are you doing today?
Doing well. I don't know about lovely, but thank you very much.
Well, I guess I may have changed my mind by the end of the interview, like one-word answers throughout, but we'll see. We're in Manchester at the moment. It is, of course, raining. How's the tour been going for you so far?
It's been wonderful. We're kind of winding down. We've only got, I think, 5 more shows left. But it's been great. We love coming over here, even though we come over in the worst weather times of the year. We love it. The fans are great, and it's always fun. We keep growing, which is nice to see bigger places every time we come over here and more faces. So I can't complain.
No, I mean, you'd only kind of really broke into the UK 2008 kind of time, and already you're playing enormous venues for having only been touring the UK a few years. How do you think you've done so much in such a short space of time?
Hard work. Lots of it. Playing the right festivals, opening up for the right people. I think that first tour in 2008 with Disturbed was very huge for us, even though their fans are a little bit heavier than what we do. It was a great look for us, and we owe those guys a lot for bringing us over here without really having much play over here. And I think we put on a hell of a show. We have a good time. You know, we interact with the crowd, and we play with our hearts in our sleeves and play with 110% intention. So I think that means a lot to everybody, and I think that's why we're growing over here, and we just want to keep doing that.
Brilliant. And you know, you say you interact with the fans a lot. You've recently started using this new CrowdStream app, which allows all your fans kind of more access to the live gigs than they've ever really had before. How do you find that? Have you noticed a big change in the stuff that you're seeing afterwards and before the show through it?
It's crazy. You know, modern technology has totally changed the world. Now you look at an audience and not holding lighters in the air, they're holding phones in the air and filming the whole thing. And sometimes I'm like, just put the phone down and enjoy the show for a minute. It's very strange. And I'm not one that likes to be exposed too much. I like my private life. And you don't have that luxury anymore. Between all the social media and everything else, you have to put everything out there, which gone are the days of the mystery of rock and roll, you know, when they thought Led Zeppelin was the scary thing that nobody knew anything about. Those days aren't here anymore. So everybody knows way too much about me and too much about my personal life, but that's part of the business.
And do you find it hard to kind of juggle the two? I mean, do you really find it a struggle breaking away from the music scene to get time to yourself?
Yeah, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. I mean, this year we've already done, I don't know, somewhere around 125 shows or something like that. That's a lot of shows in 1 year. We've been here 3 times. We like to work, and it's hard to get that downtime, but when you do, it makes it that much more special. You know, when you get to finally go home and spend time with your family, it's new again, it's fresh. I'm not doing the 9 to 5, and she's not sick of me. So that, at least not that I know of, she might be. That makes it good. That makes it good, and makes it difficult too. You know, the heart grows fond when you're gone. So.
And so, would you say that that's the kind of hardest part that you find touring, the being away from home, or do you find other stuff more challenging?
I think being away from home is definitely the hardest mentally. Physically, it's just challenging to be on the road and be in different cities every day and different food and trying to keep your strength and health up. And when you get sick, it's not like you can cancel the show. You just have to play. And I've played some shows extremely sick before. I've had to take an IV out and go get on stage. So you just do it. And all bands do that. Bands work hard. This lifestyle is not for the faint of heart, by any means. This lifestyle is not easy, and it's not what you see on MTV. This isn't that glamorous. And you're not going to be an instant millionaire, I promise, unless you're, you know, some sort of hip-hop star, and then they're going to blow all their money anyway. So that's just how it works. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. I have no regrets.
And what's the best part of it all for you? I mean, what is your favourite bit of the whole experience?
It's twofold, 2 things. One, I get to be a rock star for an hour and a half on stage. You know, after that, I'm just me. But for that hour and a half, I get to be a rock star and see adoring fans. And that is huge. People that respect what I do and love what I do and probably get more out of it than what I do for the songs because I helped write the song. So I know I'm on a different level. And on top of that, getting to see the world by playing shows. I mean, who gets to do that? Nobody gets to do that. It's awesome. I mean, it's a childhood dream come true.
So what would you do if you weren't doing music?
I'd still be a biologist cleaning lakes for the state of Florida. That's what I did before this band started. So I'd still be out playing with snakes and gators and cleaning lakes.
Wow. See, that does sound fascinating. Do you not miss that at all?
I loved it. I don't miss it, but I did love it. It was a cool job, and it was, you know, early. Start at 5 in the morning, done by 3 in the afternoon, which was nice. You get your whole day. And you're out in the sun. I had a company truck and a boat, and it was just me out there spraying for the weeds and killing off, because we have a lot of feral weeds that have gotten into Florida because of the shipping system, and they started choking out the lakes. So you spray for the weeds without killing the wildlife, and you get to see so many crazy things, big gators and snakes coming at the boat, and all sorts of wildlife, osprey and eagles. It was a beautiful job, but I like this job a little bit more.
Did you have any close calls with it?
Yeah, I had this water moccasin, which is a very poisonous snake in Florida, that I was in a very small pond, so the boat really couldn't go very far, and they're very territorial snakes, and he was literally as big around as my forearm, massive snake, and he was pissed that I was there, and he kept trying to get into the boat, and I kept having to try to beat him off with the paddle, and he kept trying to get in the boat, so that wasn't fun.
No. At least this job's slightly safer than
Slightly
that.
safer. Just a little bit.
Talking about kind of safety-wise, have you ever had any fans doing anything utterly crazy?
I've seen a lot of things. We've had fans run up on stage. We had some guy at a festival in a wheelchair crowd surfing. That was kind of cool to see.
Oh, wow. That's brilliant.
And he was having a great time, so that's awesome. I think the craziest thing is some of these tattoos I see that these fans do with my face, or I saw one guy who had our first record, all the artwork just crossed his throat, and I was honored, but it's just crazy to me that they would go that far. Having my name tattooed on them, stuff like that, it's humbling for sure.
And does it make you feel kind of responsible, and as though you have to be projecting quite a good image, knowing that these people look up to you so much?
Yeah, you try, and you try to always take the time for your fans, because they're the boss. Without them, we don't get to do this job. And we are very well aware of that and try to do as much as we can for our fans. You might catch us on a bad day. Everybody has a bad day, but we try to always be positive and happy and respectful of them. Today I got off the bus and there was already fans waiting outside. I literally had just woken up, so I was kind of out of it, and they rushed up to get autographs and stuff. I'm like, good morning, still wiping the crust out of my eyes, So sometimes like that, I don't know if I was that personable, but I tried to at least be nice and sign what they wanted and take some pictures.
It's more than a lot of people are doing.
Yeah, well, I don't mind. What's 5 minutes of my day,
True. And fan reaction to Amoris so far, what's it been like? Because it's been really quite different musically, but still just incredible. But have you been happy with the fan reaction to it so far?
I have. They've really embraced it, and I think it's broadened our audience a little bit more. Yeah. Whereas Sound of Madness tended to be a little bit more angry and a heavy record, this record still has a lot of that, but it's a little bit more broad. And so I'm seeing a lot more females in the audience. I see a lot more younger people in the audience than I did before, and a lot more older people. It's a very wide range, 8 to 80. You see just crazy people out there, so they've been reacting well. And it's funny, the songs that we play off of there, I think the biggest reaction we're getting is from I'll Follow You or Amoris, which are two of the slower songs on the record, but I see guys sitting there crying, singing the songs, and I'm like, really? Wow. That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
So songwriting, are you all just as involved as each other?
We all come different angles. I'm not one of the main songwriters just because I play drums and it's not a melodic instrument. Though I always have input and ideas, and I can pluck out a few chords, or at least say, hey, let's try this melodic rhythm, things like that. Brent is the main vocalist because he's just good at it. That guy is like a savant when it comes to writing lyrics. It's almost scary to watch when he does it. And then Eric and Zach have equal partnership in it. Eric's a little bit more talented at songwriting than Zach. Zach has great ideas, but Eric's just been doing the producing thing for a very long time, so he's got a little bit more skills when it comes to making a record. And then we use a couple outside sources that we've always used, just because it's nice to go work with outside people and get different ideas and try to make the best album that you can. That's what we always try to do. We could keep it in-house, but that's kind of being stubborn. The best thing is making the best songs you possibly can. If somebody has a great idea, somebody has a great idea. So there's a guy named Dave Bassett that we work with a lot, who's co-written some of the songs with us on Sound of Madness in this record. And then, of course, you have your producer, who, once you have the songs, you go in and he goes, yeah, we're going to change some of this. So it depends on the day and depends what started it. Most of them start on an acoustic guitar, even some of the heavy ones, and you go from there. We're definitely a democracy when it comes to this band.
And do you enjoy the whole process, or are you always kind of itching and thinking, no, actually, I want to be back on the road?
I want to be back on the road.
Yeah.
The studio is so grueling. I think each one of us had a nervous breakdown on this record at a different time. It was just tough because we push ourselves so hard, and there's so much pressure to do a great record, and you're so worried that you're not going to do good by yourself and before your fans. It's a pressure cooker in the studio, and time is money in a studio, so you got to get it done. It's not like I can't go in there unprepared to go, I'm going to take a few days and feel the song out. Yeah. No, you got to hit the song, and after 2-3 takes, you better be done with that so we can get on to the next one. which is no problem. Thank God I have some skills, but it's a pressure cooker, because if that doesn't happen, then you end up spending more money, and that's not fun.
It must just be an immense process. I mean, when it comes to time off between recording and actually touring, do you get to spend much time really at home?
Yeah, I do. It's very we're going to take November to December pretty much off. We have to do a couple fly things for a few days here and there, but that'll be nice. And when I'm home, I'm home. Yeah. I rarely leave the house. I love to cook, so that's what I do when I'm home, or I work in the yard, and spend time with my kids. So. Yeah, I'm definitely a homebody. I'm a complete different person at home. Wow. I'm a very normal person at home. The only thing I do outside of that is exercise, and I do a martial art called Wing Chun, so I go and spar 3 times a week and get a black eye and a bloody nose.
Stupid amounts of fun, then.
Yeah, it is. And all we do is wear a mouthpiece. It's bare knuckles, so it's painful.
I can well imagine. And I'm Alive was featured in the Avengers. Uh-huh. I mean, what must that have been like? Are you a big Avengers fan, or are you not really?
I'm a big comic book fan. I wouldn't say that's one of my major comic books, but really cool to always be a part of those kinds of movies. I mean, those are blockbuster summer things that happen. It's really cool, and it was nice of them to invite us back, because that was also part of Disney, and they did Her Name is Alice with us as well. So it was nice for them to ask for another song, and we're happy to do it. It's always a good look for us, and I think that song was perfect for the movie.
Yeah. And what was it like, kind of hearing all the stuff that you'd done on this just immense feature film?
It's surreal still to this day. It's very surreal, but it's like, when I first heard our first song on the radio, I was giddy like a little schoolgirl. I still get that way when I hear new songs come out, because it's an honor. It's huge.
I mean, what do you find the hardest part of kind of having to listen back to your own stuff? I mean, do you get to the stage where you think, actually, I've heard this track being played on so many different mediums that I don't particularly like it, or I want to change this bit of it, or do you not get that so much?
Not so much. Most of the time, I won't sit in my car and listen to the radio and listen to my own song. Typically, I'll turn the channel, or I don't even really. I'll listen to Pandora most of the time. I listen to other music because I don't want to listen to myself. I hear it differently. I know what happened when we made that song. I was there, so it's a little different. I hear things very sonically different, but it's still a source of honor. I think the thing that is usually kind of annoying is, say we all go to a bar and we get recognized in a bar, and then somebody plays our songs, and then we're stuck the whole night drinking at a bar to our own music. That's not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand.
Last thing I want to do is bring work to when I'm sitting at a bar just enjoying a drink.
Yeah. Do you ever go out in disguise and think to yourselves, you know what, we really need to kind of try and not to be recognized, woolly hats and all of that?
Nah, I don't mind. I don't mind, and I think people get more weirded out when I'm at home and grocery shopping, and they look at me like I should have somebody shopping for my own groceries. I'm like, no, I'm going to go to the grocery store and buy groceries. Or if I'm in Target, which is like a supermarket back home, like clothing and stuff like that, like a Walmart or a Kmart, is one of those, with my daughter and my wife, and they're looking at me like, what the? Buying diapers,
Rock and roll lifestyle.
Very rock and roll.
So, upcoming bands nowadays, is there anybody that you've kind of got an eye on and you think, I really, really like these guys?
We just did a tour in the States, and we had a band called In This Moment with us, and they were just fantastic. I love them. I'm addicted to their new record. It's called Blood. I think they're on their 3rd or 4th record now, but this is the first one that they're really getting some major attention, and it's a little bit different from what they did in the past. So In This Moment is probably one of the big up-and-coming bands that I'm really just head over heels about. And then on the total opposite spectrum, I've been addicted to the Lana Del Rey record, because I think the writing on that is just brilliant, the lyrics and everything, and the orchestration, and it's good chill music. So when I'm sitting on the plane and I want to kind of just chill, I'll listen to that. Or if I'm in my hotel room, I just woke up in the morning, last thing I'm going to listen to is In This Moment, because it's super heavy. It's morning, I'm going to wake up a little bit more chill. So those are probably the 2 newer things that I've been into.
And the next kind of 6 to 12 months, what does it hold for you that you can actually tell us about?
More touring. Brilliant. Lots more touring. We're going to take this little bit of time in December, kind of off. We'll be working because we have to build the set for the next U.S. tour, which starts in January. So we'll be doing a huge tour in January. I can't say exactly who the bands are yet, but a big tour in January. And then we'll probably be back over here for the summer festivals, and then we got to do some more other international stuff like Australia, New Zealand, and all that stuff. So we'll probably be touring for the next 2 years, I would imagine, on this record, and then go make another.
And apart from festivals, are there any more plans for another UK tour?
Oh, I'm sure. Nothing on paper yet, because it's still, just
Early
finishing
days.
this one up.
Yeah.
So we'll be back. We love
Good.
doing it, so we'll be back.
I mean, do you have a favourite when it comes to playing the festivals or doing headline tours of your own?
Over here or in the States or both?
Anywhere.
There's a few. There's one in Kansas City that is a big rock fest, and it's the biggest rock fest in the States, and that one's always fun. And we headlined it last year, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
And then over here, I really enjoy Download, and then Rock am Ring, Rock am Park in Germany.
Yeah.
Those are a lot of fun. And there was an Austrian one that we did this year for the first time, and we went on stage like at noon. We were one of the first bands.
Wow.
And the crowd was amazing. And I think it was called Nova Rock,
Oh, yes.
and it was awesome. That was a lot of fun. The UK and European festivals are all a lot of fun because just so many people go to it, and it's such a variety of music, whereas in the States you have a festival and it's a rock festival.
Yeah.
You know, over here you're going to have Katy Perry on this stage and Shinedown on this stage, and then you're going to have, you know, Iron Maiden over here, and it's like, really? I get all this in one day? This is awesome.
Brilliant. So I'm going to have to let you go, sadly, but thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Any last words for your fans out there?
Thank you. Thanks for being a fan. That's all I can say. We'll come back, and I appreciate you taking the time as well. This is what we do.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much. It's been an utter pleasure and really looking forward to the gig.
Thank you. It'll be fun.
Thank you.